GMOs. So what is a GMO? What is GMO anyway? It's genetically modified organisms, basically. Something that is, they went in, they changed the DNA of it. It grew differently and it didn't grow the way that it was supposed to grow. So say, for instance, we can take a human, which is something basic. We all are, we all understand. Say if I went in and I genetically modified you, Klarque, and you came out with black skin on your face and white skin on your arms, right? So how does that feel? It doesn't feel, you could get along in life, right? You actually might be famous because of it, right? But it still doesn't feel right. Like you'll always look around and be like, I'm the only one up in here with white arms. Like, what's going on with me? So that's just a basic analogy. It's something that is just not quite right. And it's not the natural way of doing things. Now, why did this happen? Why are we doing this? One of the reasons we are doing this is because, like I said, things are speeding up. People want what they want when they want it now. Not even now, they want it yesterday. And so the government has responded to that because that proves that you as a country can continue to move forward, right? It proves your civilization that you've arrived, right? So here in the US, and I can't really speak for abroad, I'm sure they're doing the same things because they look at the United States as this pivotal kind of, they look at us like we're up on a pedestal for whatever reason. And that's a whole nother episode, but they look at us that way. And one of the things that's happening is, we mass produce, man. We mass produce so much food. There are documentaries upon documentaries of people who dumpster dive every day after grocery stores, right? To see that they're throwing away cases of fresh bananas, that they're throwing away cases of fresh kale. They're throwing away cases of raw almonds, not just some little packets, not just 1 or 2 bananas. We're talking about cases, y'all. And you know where it goes? In the trash, and to the trash place, and to the incinerator, and it's gone. And we keep on mass producing it, right? We have a system to create the food, but we don't have a way to distribute it because people are still homeless, hungry, starving.
Yep.
So we've missed the mark there. So I get Monsanto responding to it. And let's put this out there now, because people want to blame Monsanto and I feel like there's always 2 sides to every coin. That's how I feel about this. And I feel like Monsanto has responded to a need that they saw at the expense of the person who's willing to buy into that because they got that need. You see what I'm saying? So if you go buy their stuff, I responded to it. Now this genetically modified stuff might give you a little bit of cancer. You might get some lumps in your breast. You might get some, might have to, I suggest you have them kids before you're 30 because you might not be able to have them after that. And there's a lot going on because of it, right? But it's at the expense of those who want this stuff mass produced, fresh all the time, looking pretty in the stores, instead of going to the source of where their food comes from. You say, well, I ain't trying to go to no farm. Then you go to Monsanto. You go to who you feel you need to for what you think you need. And that's how that works. So they're responding to a need. And as a result, if you don't buy it, it goes in the trash. They don't go take it to homeless shelters, right? Someone else has to come in and be that conduit to get this stuff distributed to the people who are actually hungry. And unfortunately, that's how our country works. That's how it works. That's where we are right now. Now, one of the other things that is happening that people may not be aware of is that not all farmers are producing for Monsanto. There are farmers who don't, but please understand that they are blacklisted and you are told specifically not to buy from them. So understand that there are farmers who don't agree with this, who don't agree with you modifying my stuff, because if you modify that stuff and I put it in my body, my genetics then gets modified. Yeah. And here's the thing that we're learning now. Something called epigenetics is what's been at the forefront. And what epigenetics is your ability to eat the food in its original state and make any disease process lie dormant in your gene pool. Meaning that just because other people in your family had diabetes and cancer and this and that, you have the ability to make that gene stop with you and it never be passed on to any other legacy. That is the power of knowing where your food comes from and knowing what GMOs are, and getting to these farmers that are so-called blacklisted, people who are not going to get the subsidies, people that are actually living crop to crop instead of these six-figure farmers. So it's about knowing those things and deciding what's best for you. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.